Welcome to another Veterans Voices Spotlight. This month, welcoming United States Army veteran Mr. John Quebodeaux. Mr. John, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We did get to meet you last month because we met Mr. Pridgeon Fontenot, and we're focusing all on you today, though, and we want to hear about your time serving in the Army. What was that experience like for you? Your 26 years, that's a long time.
It's the best experience I've had in my lifetime. I met people that I will never forget. I did things that I will never forget. I learned a way of life from myself and my family that most people don't get to enjoy. I have a sign on my truck that says my oath of enlistment never ends, and it hasn't. I've tried to be a good veteran. I'm proud to be a veteran, and I'm proud to serve my country.
And you brought your Vietnam hat with you today. You're a Vietnam veteran.
Yes.
And of course, we thank you so much for your service. And I know, speaking about Vietnam, speaking to these veterans can be a touchy subject at times. For you, what was it like to come home after that? Well,
I knew what was going on here while I was there. I spent 2 years in Vietnam. And I heard about the riots and everything that was going on. And it bothered me, but I was serving my country. I was doing what I was told to do. Soldiers should never be ridiculed or blamed for what they do. They only do what they're told. We don't choose to go to war. We're sent to war. So it's not our fault. Whatever we do is not our fault. So we should never be ridiculed. But coming back was a harrowing experience for me because at the airport in Seattle where I took off to come home, I was called a baby killer. And, now veterans are revered, they're respected. We didn't get that kind of respect. But I did what I had to do. I did my job, and I was proud of that, no matter what they thought. And I continued my service. And I'm proud of what I did.
And as you should be, and I do love to hear that you're, taking the positive sides away from it, aside from the negative things about the experience. But since then, because you've been, as you told me earlier, retired for longer than you served, so you've been enjoying retirement, I heard.
Very much so, yes, ma'am. When I retired from the Army, I continued to serve my community. I was on the Acadia Parish School Board. I was on the Acadia Parish Police Jury. I was a member of the American Legion. I was in the VFW for a while, but the American Legion is my home, and I love to do that. I was in the Rain Lions Club for about 10 years. I was president of that club. I'm commander of the American Legion Post 77 in Rain. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy being able to do what I want when I want.
And it's so nice to hear most of the veterans that we have interviewed for this Veterans Voices series are involved in some type of veteran organization. But for you personally, Mr. John, why is it important to continue to have that brotherhood with your fellow veterans?
Well, I was here with Mr. Pridgeon Fontenot. He's 98 years old. World War II veteran. World War II veterans are very scarce these days. They're like a precious gem. But I respect Mr. Pridgeon. I respect what he did. Those guys went through holy hell in World War II, and I respect that. And I take Mr. Pridgeon places. I took him here. If he needs a ride, I go get him for our meetings at the American Legion Post. I do those things. I like to take care of the older veterans, and hopefully that the younger veterans one day will do the same for me. I try to establish that camaraderie and loyalty to our Veterans Corps.
Yeah, Mr. John Quebodeaux continuing to serve. It seems like with most of our veterans that just, willingness and want to serve just never ends for you guys.
Yes, it never ends. It never ends. It's always a pleasure to serve.
Well, we thank you for your service, and we thank you for being here today to share your story.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Mr. John Quebodeaux, United States Army veteran.